KeyBank State Theater or watching us on a live stream in Cleveland or in Miami. I mean Miami, Ohio, not the other one. I just met the guys from Miami and I assumed they're from Florida. I'm still new at this, so forgive me. People are watching us from all over the world tonight, so this is a great moment for all of us and for Playhouse Square. So thank you for coming along. And thank you for watching. And a huge thank you to KeyBank, who make sure all of this is possible, and it's a wonderful night. So KeyBank, thank you so much. So just a few fun facts about tonight and where we are. I don't know if you know, although you probably do know, that Playhouse Square is one of the largest theater districts, not in Ohio, not in the USA, but in the world. Amazing. And do you know why it's so successful? I mean, we have beautiful theaters, of course, and you've seen this one, and the Connor Palace, and the Mimi, Ohio, but actually it's because we have such an amazing audience. That's you guys. And we actually happen to have right now the largest season ticket holder base in the country. I know. And that number right now is 44,000, of all of whom I hope are watching tonight. So if you are, thank you. So here's my challenge. We're going to unveil the KeyBank Broadway Series for the next year tonight. And my challenge to you all is, let's get that 44,000 up to 50,000. Shall we do that? Yes. And now please just indulge me. I want to say a quick hello in our group sales department. Andy, it's his birthday and he's back after a long time. Give it up for Andy, he's amazing. Thank you. And in fact, during the evening, you're going to meet a lot of our team from Playhouse Square. We decided to use tonight as a way to introduce you to the people behind the scenes who make all of this happen. And so during the night, you'll meet a lot of our staff, a lot of our team, some of whom you already know, some you may not, and give them all a huge round of applause. Whatever they say, and I think they'll be great. And now the first one is wonderful. Now, this person works in our communications area, and you know the Oscar Wilde saying, the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. Well, our first presenter will make sure that we are never not talked about. So Broadway hears about Cleveland from this next presenter, and we hear about Broadway from her as well. She's amazing, she's prolific, she is Stephanie Kiefer. Give her a big round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. As Craig mentioned, I am a member of our communications department, and I handle publicity for all of our shows here at Playhouse Square. What that basically means is that I try to find creative ways to talk about our touring Broadway shows while spending the least amount of money possible. So if you've ever seen or read an interview with a cast member, or maybe you've seen them perform a national anthem somewhere, or maybe you've seen one of our local on-air personalities talking about a show while up in Glenda's bubble, or kissing a giant fake fish, or maybe wearing a pair of thigh-high, red, sparkly, high-heeled boots. That was probably something that I had a hand in, so, you know. And to all of our media out there watching tonight, I've really got some ideas for next season already, so pay attention, for sure. So speaking of next season, let's start talking about it, right? So we are thrilled to kick off the season with a musical tribute to a legendary artist. We all just had a taste of this production moments ago, and we are so proud to welcome A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond musical, as the first show of our season. Created in collaboration with Neil Diamond himself, A Beautiful Noise is the uplifting true story of how a kid from Brooklyn became a chart-busting, show-stopping American rock icon. His albums have sold over 120 million copies worldwide, and he has a catalog of classics including America, Forever in Blue Jeans, and of course, Sweet Caroline. He's been inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame and our very own Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And he also has a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, so not too shabby, right? He's played to sold-out crowds around the globe, and some consider him to be even bigger than Elvis. Neil's story was made to shine on Broadway, and we were so excited to see it heading out across America on this national tour. Like Jersey Boys and Beautiful, the Carole King musical before it, A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond musical, is an inspiring, exhilarating, energy-filled musical memoir telling the true story of how one of America's greatest hitmakers became a star, set to the music that defined his career.
That's alright. We got all night to set the world right. We'll find us a dream that's on, has no questions. Yeah. Oh, look, my child, you got a way to make me happy. She got the way to move me, cherry. She got the way to groove it. She got the way to groove it. Hot cherry, baby. All right. Tell your mama, girl, I can't stay long. We've got things we gotta catch up on.
And now please welcome our Senior Vice President of Programming for Playhouse Square, David Greene.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, everybody. And please help me welcome back to the stage, from A Beautiful Noise, Chris Marsh Clark. Nice hat, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Representing the Cleveland
Yeah.
Guardians. All right.
Yeah, it seems that no one in Cleveland knows who Neil Diamond is.
That was amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. Thanks for kicking off our Broadway announcement in such a special way.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So my first concert as a kid, my parents took me to see Neil Diamond. It was at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland, just outside Washington, D.C. From that moment forward, I've been a lifelong Neil Diamond fan. Talk a little bit about your first experience with hearing Neil's music.
It's a little polar opposite. I've, of course, heard Sweet Caroline 1,000 times, but I think I was really exposed to Neil's music when I saw the show for the first time. Was really like but it was a gift because I got to experience his music fresh, and as somebody who wasn't necessarily a fan, like I didn't know his stuff, it made me a fan, and it made me like just see how big of a catalog he had, and there was song after song of, oh, I didn't know that was Neil. Oh, that's Neil too? Oh, he wrote that one and I didn't know that one was Neil? So it's just, it's chock full of it, and so getting to discover it as a grown person was special too.
Yeah, I think that speaks a lot about the show and how it's multi-generational. You can have grown up with this music, or you could just be discovering it for the first time with this show, or just hearing his stuff on the radio. It really, there's a broad range of an audience for this one.
Totally agree.
Yeah, so you've played some interesting characters. Johnny Cash in $1 Million Quartet, Tommy DeVito in Jersey Boys, a couple of really big shoes to fill, right?
Yeah.
What is it like singing the songs of the legendary Neil Diamond?
Yeah. Well, I'm dressed for Johnny now, but it's very special. It's been fun to find his sound. They say in the show it's like gravel wrapped in velvet, and it's really true. And it's very cool to go through all those old videos of him performing in the 70s and to see his swagger and to see the way that he impacted people. But I'm definitely grateful for those other two experiences to give me kind of an entry point into, okay, I've filled big shoes previously, so hopefully I can do it again. And so, yeah, it's special, and to look at Neil and to get to learn the way that his life influenced his music is special.
Yeah, I went into the show ready for all the hits, all my favorite songs, and they're all there, every one of them. It's phenomenal. But I left the show with a special place in my heart for Neil Diamond, the man. Talk about how the music and the story are weaved together to tell it.
Yeah, it's very cool. There's a character that is Neil now, and there's a character that is Neil then. And Neil now is looking back on his life and trying to process what happened, and he looks at it through Neil then, and you start to see the way that Neil's life and the point that he was in his life influenced the songs that he wrote. And so it's a great way to look at his life, because you see what was happening that caused that song that we all love to be born.
Yeah, how do you think this musical will contribute to the legacy of Neil Diamond?
Well, it's a uplifting yet somber story that, for those who don't know, in 2018, Neil was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and so Neil cannot tour anymore. And so, which absolutely it kills him. It's the thing that he loved and loves more than anything. And that's why this show was made. And I think that this show gives a way for new audiences and older audiences who know Neil's music to relive that, and for people to discover Neil for the first time like I did. And so that's why I think this show tours because Neil cannot. And so it's very special in that way. I keep saying special, but it is.
It is. It's a special show.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's for Neil. It's all for Neil.
Yeah. And Chris, it's a special treat for us to have you here with us tonight. Really appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
any chance we can convince you to stick around later and sing another song?
That's a yes. I'll do it.
All right. Well, we'll see Chris later.
I'll go learn it backstage.
Our second show is a classic comedy film turned Broadway comedy hit. Here to tell us more from Season Ticket Services is Greg Grimes.
Thank you so much, David, and good evening, everyone. As David said, my name is Greg Grimes, and I am one of your 4 season ticket services coordinators for the KeyBank Broadway Series. So what that means, thank you. So what that means is if you have called or emailed into the ticket sales and service department over the last year looking to exchange dates on your season tickets, use your exclusive Swap-A-Show benefit, or maybe just needed a little bit of a refresher on how to download those mobile tickets, chances are likely that we have connected. It genuinely has been a thrill and a pleasure to connect with you all over the last year, and it truly is an honor to be with you all tonight to unveil the second show in our KeyBank Broadway Series for 2024-2025. Now, brace yourselves for a hilarious journey of 2 musicians on the run after witnessing a murder that turns out to be a mob hit. With gangsters hot on their heels.
Greene, come here. Greene, so Greg, right, that's what I said. So we're here, we made it.
The costumes were a little hard to get on with all that silk and everything, but we're here and we're all ready to talk about.
What are you guys doing here?
Well, what do you mean, what are we doing here? You were about to introduce the next show.
Yeah, you said it turned out to be a Cobb hit.
Yeah,
We heard it, believe me, we're all ears.
Oh. No. I said a mob hit. A murder that turns out to be a mob hit, not a Cobb hit. Why don't you let me get back to my show? Your turn is coming up soon.
Didn't I tell you, Stuart?
All right.
Didn't I tell you?
Let's go get our colonels backstage.
Come on, they don't care, come on.
Colonels.
Well, I'm so sorry about that. I think they're just really excited, and I think we can all relate to that tonight. Now, where was I? Yes, 2 musicians on the run after witnessing a murder that turns out to be a mob hit. With gangsters hot on their heels, they catch a cross-country train for the life-chasing, life-changing trip of a lifetime. This is Some Like It Hot. The winner of more theater awards than any other show this season, Some Like It Hot was named Best Musical by the Drama Desk, the Drama League, and the Outer Critics Circle Awards, and it just recently won the 2024 Grammy Award for Best Musical Theater Album. So, let's all take a look.
I hope you like your Broadway hot.
We can't stay here. Chicago's too hot. You're right.
Search every bend, every dance hall from here to Timbuktu.
And when a saxophone starts wailing, I pray someone lends a hand before he breaks my aching heart in
So Deadline calls this a tap-dancing, razzle-dazzling embrace of everything you love about musical theater. I think Some Like It Hot will certainly warm up Cleveland this November. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Greg. And that is, if you haven't seen that show, you're going to love it. It's one of those big, big Broadway shows. You'll be laughing and dancing all night. It's fantastic. So now a change of pace. I should let you know, we at Playhouse Square, we have an association with an affiliate company, Karamu Theatre Company, just down the road. And they're brilliant. Yes, give them a round of applause. Karamu do brilliant work. And our next presenter works for us here as our Director of Education, but in her spare time, and she doesn't have very much spare time, she acts and directs at Karamu and other places. She's an incredibly talented person and just the right person to introduce the next show. Please welcome Trevor Offit. Trevor.
Thank you, Craig. Good evening, everyone. I'm Trevor Offit, and as the Director of Education here at Playhouse Square, it is my honor to be able to provide quality programming, performances, and resources to the educators, the students, and the families of Northeast Ohio. Yes! I am also excited to share with you what I have learned about our next show. Our next show is based on a novel that has sold over 15 million copies to become a worldwide phenomenon, told through jaw-dropping visuals, world-class puppetry, and exquisite stagecraft. It tells the story of a breathtaking journey that will leave you filled with awe and joy. Winner of 3 Tony Awards and 5 Oliviers, including Best New Play. This is Life of Pi. Isn't that beautiful? I'm so excited. After a shipwreck in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, a 16-year-old boy named Pi survives on a lifeboat with 4 companions: a hyena, a zebra, an orangutan, and a Royal Bengal tiger named Richard Parker. This theatrical adaptation of Jan Martel's beloved novel will transport you to a world full of wonder and survival. Get ready for a theatrical event unlike any other when Life of Pi comes to Cleveland in January of 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. And as Trevor said, this is an extraordinary production. We don't often do plays in the Broadway series, but when we do, it's for a special reason that these plays are phenomenally good. To Kill a Mockingbird, I'm sure a lot of you saw a few years ago. I mean, yeah, amazing. And do you remember even earlier from my old hometown, Warhorse, which was fantastic. So the puppetry in Life of Pi is akin to that of Warhorse. It's phenomenal. And the staging, I saw the show actually in London, then I went to the opening here on Broadway, and it's just breathtaking what they can do on stage with the puppets and the projections and the storytelling. You'll have a wonderful night with Life of Pi. It's phenomenal. But moving on. Our next presenter is from Inside Sales. It's Greg Knorr. Give him a huge round of applause. Greg, come on.
Thank you, Craig. As the man said, my name is Greg Knorr, and my job is to identify enthusiastic supporters of Playhouse Square and to convert them into season ticket holders like you. With music and lyrics by Jason Robert Brown and a book by Pulitzer Prize winner Alfred Urey, our next show has received overwhelming acclaim since its debut. It is a poignant and powerful production that explores the true story of a Jewish man accused of murder in early 20th century Georgia, winner of the 2023 Tony Award for Best Revival of a Musical. This is Parade.
Suddenly loud as a mortar, there is hope. Finally, yes, Leo, there is hope. This isn't over. We are finally on the way. There's still a million things that you and I can do. I will speak for you, Leo. The things I see. A man who isn't guilty doesn't have to walk the plank. It means the gallows still are vacant, and we've got my wife to thank. It means you shouldn't underestimate Lucille and Leo Frank, 'cause this is not over yet.
Leo and Lucille Frank are a Jewish couple struggling to make a life in the old red hills of Georgia. When Leo is accused of an unspeakable crime, it propels them into an unimaginable test of faith, humanity, justice, and devotion. Riveting and gloriously uplifting. Parade reminds us that to love, we must truly see one another. This parade passes through Cleveland in February. Don't let it pass you by. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. And yeah, Parade, I mean, it's a very impactful, big Broadway show. David Greene and I saw it last year on Broadway. Actually, I should say, you know, my job is we have to go and see all these Broadway shows. In New York, it's, you know, all the time. It's once a month, we see 3 or 4 shows, and I get paid for that. I mean, it's unbelievable. Anyway, the Parade, when we saw Parade, I didn't know anything about the story, and it's as Greg said, it's a very incredible, true story. At the end of the show, I mean, you will be in tears. It's a pretty powerful story. And we just sat in our seats for about 5 minutes after the curtain calls finished because it was so overpowering, you just couldn't really leave the theater. So you'll find the same here in Cleveland. Now, our next presenter is from our communications team, and in fact, I just heard tonight she's going to Paris tomorrow for a family holiday. I know, for her first time. I've given her all my tips, all the restaurants to go to, the bakeries, and all sorts. So, bienvenue, mon ami, la formidable, la belle Kristen Jantonio. Kristen!
Well, thank you, Craig. I have no French to respond with besides oui. So I am thrilled to be here tonight. I am the communications manager here at Playhouse Square. You met my counterpart earlier this evening, Stephanie Kiefer, and while she focuses on all things Broadway, I focus on everything else. That includes getting out the good word about our education programs, institutional initiatives, and things happening around the Playhouse Square district. But I am thrilled tonight to be here to talk all things Broadway and introduce our next show. So if you were born between the years 1981 and 1996,
Yeah, sorry, Kristen. We made it.
Yep, we're here. We would have been out quicker, but you know, it started getting hot back there, and Stuart started popping kernels all over the place.
guys,
You can imagine how messy it
you
is.
got the wrong show again.
What?
No.
No, not
No,
this
no, no,
time.
no. No, Kristen. We heard our cue when you said, if you were corn between the ears.
Yeah. Born with a B, between the years.
Okay. Yeah. Didn't I tell you, Stuart?
All right. Well, we'll be right over here when you need us.
No, we have to go
What,
back.
You don't want to interview the corn?
No, they don't care about the corn.
Gets to wait backstage.
Well, I am so sorry about them. We love enthusiastic team members, but let me try this another way for our next show, everybody. Is it original? Yeah. Well, it mixes the work of an Emmy-winning writer from Schitt's Creek and pop music's most prolific songwriter. Is it the only one? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the only one in our lineup that also incorporates Shakespeare's most famous love story. Is it everything you need? Well, I mean, we like to think it's everything you need because this is Juliet. This innovative musical reimagines the ending to the world's greatest love story and asks the question, what would happen if Juliet didn't end it all over Romeo? Juliet's new love story bursts onto the stage through a playlist of pop anthems as iconic as her own name, including songs like Since You've Been Gone, Roar, Baby One More Time, Larger Than Life, That's the Way It Is, and Can't Stop the Feeling. And you are welcome for not singing all of those songs. They are all written by the genius songwriter-producer behind more #1 hits than any other artist this century, Max Martin. In other words, this is the mixtape of my youth.
My loneliness is killing me.
Juliet plunges Romeo's dagger into her heart.
What if Juliet didn't die? That should almost be the start of the play.
Hit me, baby, one more time. Since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time. I'm so moving on, yeah, yeah. It's my life, it's now or never. And I ain't gonna last forever. I'm just gonna live while I'm alive. I got the eye of the tiger, fire, dancing through the fire. I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar.
We should rewrite all your plays.
You'll hear me roar.
And now, hear from Juliet please welcome to the stage Mackenzie Meadows.
Here's the thing, we started out friends. It was cool, but it was all pretend. Yeah, yeah. Since you've been gone, dedicated, you took the time. Wasn't long till I called you mine. Yeah, yeah. Since you've been gone, and all you'd ever hear me say is how I pictured me with you. That's all you'd ever hear me say. But since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time. I'm so moving on, yeah, yeah. Thanks to you, now I get what I want. Since you've been gone, how can I put it? You put me on. I even fell for that stupid love song. Yeah, yeah. Since you've been gone, how come I never hear you say, I just wanna be with you? I guess you never felt that way. But since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time. I'm so moving on, yeah, yeah. Thanks to you, now I get what I want, what I want. You had your chance, you blew it, had a side hurt of mine. Shut your mouth, I just can't take it. Again and again and again and again. Hey! Since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time. I'm so moving on, yeah, yeah. Thanks to you, now I get. You should know that I get what I want. Since you've been gone.
Mackenzie Meadows, yeah. Welcome. All right, Mackenzie. Chris came out here earlier with the Cleveland Guardians hat on.
Okay, well,
What's your
both
connection?
my parents are from Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been coming here my whole life. My mom's from Union Circle. My dad's from Glenville. No, like, I've been here. Whole time.
Awesome. Well, as you can tell from the reaction, I think there are a lot of people in Cleveland excited to see Anne Juliet.
Yay!
I had a chance to take my 14 and 9-year-old daughters to New York last summer to see the show. They're still singing every song. They're dancing all the choreography in my living room every night. When the songs come on the radio, they're constantly saying, Dad, I think the Anne Juliet version's better.
They have taste.
They do,
so.
they do. The show is just pure, clever fun. How would you describe the show to someone who's unfamiliar?
I would describe the show as the beloved tale that we all know, Romeo and Juliet, except with this show, Juliet doesn't end it all for a boy. She really goes on a journey of self-love and self-empowerment and female empowerment with some great songs, amazing dances, and characters that we already know and love, as well as some new ones. And it's basically just about finding herself and deciding what she really wants her life to look like without Romeo.
You mentioned the songs, and Max Martin is a brilliant songwriter and producer. He's collaborated with some of the biggest pop stars of the last 25 years. How do the songs weave into the story so seamlessly?
I mean, Max has already done such a good job of writing these anthems and these songs that tell such a story themselves. It almost feels like he wrote these songs years ago thinking, I'm gonna put this in a musical and they're gonna freak out, and it works. Songs, for example, like Roar by Katy Perry, I mean, we all know that song. Was an anthem for us, it was everywhere, and the song has lyrics literally saying, you know, I'm not gonna bite my tongue anymore and I'm not gonna back down, and it's really Juliet owning that she's gonna find her voice, and she's so used to having everything decided for her, who she loves, where she goes, what time she shows up, etc. And for her, this journey is her deciding, like, no, I'm an adult. She's 18, an adult. And so she wants to make these decisions for herself. And so the songs just do such a good job of fueling the story in a way that it was kind of already written into the song. So Max is just a genius, I guess.
Genius. Yeah, total genius. And Juliet's resonating with audiences of all ages. This is another one of those multi-generational shows, but especially with the younger audiences. Why do you think that is?
I think aside from the fun colors and the fun dances, I mean, I've been singing these songs since I was a kid. I sang Since You've Been Gone in the shower earlier this morning before I came here.
Me too.
I know,
Yeah.
and so did all of you, obviously. So the songs are just hits, and we love them. And then on top of that, I feel like a lot of young people can see themselves literally on stage. Not only is it rare to see a show or a cast on Broadway with such young people, like such young artists, but also we can all relate to, you know, finding ourselves and figuring out what we want and what we don't want. And something that relates to me personally, maybe it's just me, but there's been plenty of times where I've had a crush on someone and I've thought, wow, if I don't have this boy, I'm gonna end it all. And then I drank some water and everything was okay. And that's really relatable. Yeah. That's just really relatable, and everyone has that moment where you're thinking it's the end of the world, everything when I was younger, the end of the world, and it's just not. And you learn every day with different experiences and different people, like just how to get through the day. And I think that's something that younger audiences and all audiences, because everyone's gone through it, can relate to, and I think that's why it's such a special multi-generational show.
Yeah, well, we're glad you drank the water. And
Me too. Oh, God.
And we're able to be with us here tonight and to share your awesome talent on this stage. We can't wait for Anne Juliet to arrive here at Playhouse Square in March of 2025 to see it for ourselves.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you. And here to tell us about our next show from our marketing department, please welcome Emily Christieson and Brian Skudrowski.
Thank you, David. Hello, Emily.
Hey, Brian. What? Oh my God, do not tell me there's something on my face.
No. Aren't you going to introduce yourself?
David just did that.
Well, he said our names, but not why they should care who we are.
Oh, right. Why should all of them care who we are?
Because we help bring Broadway to them. Exactly. Part of our being here tonight is to connect to our amazing audiences, like me. I'm Brian Skudrowski, and I'm the graphic designer here at Playhouse Square. I do the big Broadway designs that you see, and I manage the day-to-day graphics that the shows need. And that big Broadway Cleveland logo, I made that.
Oh my gosh, so that's what you do. Honestly, Brian, we've been working together for a few years now, and I've been trying to figure it out. Like, what is he doing all day? I see him every single day. He sits right in front of me, and I just am never...
Okay. Thank you for that. Tell them what you do.
Sure. I'm Emily Christensen, and I'm a marketing manager here at Playhouse Square. Basically, I bring Broadway to all of us here in Cleveland and beyond.
All those emails you get? You're welcome. All right, now that that's out of the way, our next show is a comedic exploration of love, life, and corn. I said love, life, and corn. Unreal. Do you believe this?
Brian, they were just out here.
You might as well keep going.
All right. Our next show is the Tony Award-winning musical comedy the Wall Street Journal calls Flat Out Hilarious. And nobody knows funny quite like an economist. Featuring a book by Tony Award-winning writer of Tootsie and score by Grammy Award-winning songwriting team of Brandy Clark and Shane McAnally, this corn-fed, cornbread American musical is sure to satisfy your appetite for great musical theater. This is Shucked.
When history is written, jump into the first Thanksgiving. The Indians brought something they called maize.
Ah, maize! Around 11:30, the pilgrims stuffed the turkey, slipped into a tryptophanic haze, with leftovers for days and days of corn. Yeah, corn got us through the Great Depression and the storm. They turned it into alcohol.
Yeah, that's my favorite form.
It's Mazola and it's got the knowledge for. We were cornbread, we were cornbread. Now here we really feel like we were chosen. We love cornflakes, we love corn cakes. Don't know where we could be without that golden
We heard it this time. We heard it this time. Corn-fed, cornbread, Shucked, the greatest musical of all time about corn. We made it.
Oh, yeah, baby.
You two. You're too late. Already announced it. Look, see, it's right up there. We already did it.
Why didn't
Showed
you
them the
call
video
us?
and everything. They're super excited about it, right? Nothing left for you to do.
Aw, shucks. Well, I guess you already mentioned that in the field of musical comedy, Shucked stands an ear above the rest.
Yeah, and it just began as a kernel of an idea.
Oh, we get it. She gets it. They get it. We all get it.
All right, Brian, but you gotta admit, these corn jokes are poppin'. No. Amazing. Get it? Get it? For corn? Amazing.
Speaking of amazing, Emily, love the shoes, Brian, the tie, little pocket square, nice.
Okay, it's all right.
Oh my gosh, Stuart, thank you so much.
He's just trying to butter us up. Oh.
What does butter have to do with corn?
Brian, they've worked so hard, and those costumes look uncomfortable. The least we can do is let them have the last word.
Fine.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Shucked, the show that everyone will be stalking about.
Arrives in Cleveland next April.
Give it
Good
up
job.
for our own Children of the Corn. From Ticket Sales and Service, Stuart Hoffman, and from Ticket Operations, Savannah Pfister. Thank you.
Nice, good job. All right, should we go? Okay, all right, guess we're done.
Now we can go.
Oh
Sorry,
my God.
excuse me,
That's
sorry,
That's
sorry guys.
Big corn, big corn.
I love those corn cobs. Yeah, Shucked is, well, you know how Anne Juliet's based on Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, and Parade is a Pulitzer-winning novel. Shucked is none of those things. It's just really funny. And David and I saw it in New York, and we were literally crying with laughter. We were laughing like a drain. It's a whole night of dad jokes. That's it. So when you come and see Shucked, don't look for anything below the surface, because there's nothing there. It's really, really funny. So now we're getting to the pointy end. That wasn't a corn joke. I'm just talking about the running order. So we're down to our final show. How are we doing so far with the shows? Yes. I know it's a bumper crop. Oh, sorry, I've got to stop that. I blame those corn kernels. So our next presenter works in our sales and service area. Antoinette, she's wonderful. Does an awful lot of work behind the scenes in group sales and training, and I don't know how she sleeps. She's incredibly busy. So give it up for Antoinette Kula, everyone.
Thank you, Craig. As Craig mentioned, I'm Antoinette Kula, Assistant Director of Ticket Sales and Service, Customer Service Guru, and lover of all things Broadway. I'm ecstatic to be here tonight for my 14th season of Broadway in Cleveland. And proud to be part of the team that has grown our season ticket holder community to 44,000 season ticket holders and counting. Day to day, I ensure that however you are interacting with our teams, we are delivering an experience that is worthy of a standing ovation. Our 7th and final show this year is one that is very important to me. I guess you could call me a groupie because I've been to this show 4 and about to be 5 times in New York City on Broadway, and it never stops making me laugh and cry. It features a Tony Award-winning book and lyrics by David Lindsay Abaire, a Tony-winning score by Janine Tesori, won the Tony Award for Best Musical, and is the most Tony Award-winning show of tonight's lineup. This is Kimberly Akimbo.
This time, oh, this time, maybe things work out.
Kimberly Akimbo is the winner of 5 Tony Awards, including Best Musical, and it's won the most Tony Awards this year. It's all about growing up and growing old, in no particular order. Come see this year's Tony Award-winning Best Musical, Kimberly Akimbo. Get tickets today.
Kimberly Akimbo is a musical about growing up and growing older, but not particularly in that order. Kimberly is a 16-year-old who has recently moved with her family to suburban New Jersey, and she is forced to navigate family dysfunction, a rare genetic condition, her first crush, and possible felony charges. Ever the optimist, she is determined to find happiness against all odds and embark on a great adventure. And tonight, straight from the cast of Broadway's Kimberly Akimbo, Emily Cook.
When opportunity knocks, when possibility calls, take the bull by the horns, grab life by the balls. You gotta take the reins, break the rules, so you can make your shitty life better. You gotta grab the good stuff before it's gone, 'cause once it's gone, it don't come back. I met a nice guy at the dog track. He was tall, he was Greek, he was possibly gay. He needed a green card, I needed the cash. We got married in Passaic last May. You should have seen the dress I wore. It was haute couture and it was beautiful. You should have seen the dress I wore. Yeah, I stole it. It made my shitty life better. When opportunity knocks, when possibility calls, take the bull by the horns, grab life by the balls. You gotta earn a buck, turn a trick, so you can make your shitty life better.
Wait,
yes.
So you're married now?
Widowed, actually.
What?
It's a long story. I met a lady with dementia. She was old, she was sweet, she was legally blind. She needed a roommate, I needed a room. I was out of work, she was out of her mind. You should have seen the ring she wore. Let me underscore that they were beautiful. She gave me all the rings she wore. Yeah, she thought I was her daughter, but it made my shitty life better. When opportunity knocks, when possibility calls, take the bull by the horns, grab life by the balls. You gotta catch a break, snatch a purse, so you can make your shitty life.
This is your advice? To take advantage of sick old ladies?
No, not just them. Hey, hey. When life gives you lemons, when life gives you lemons, when life gives you lemons, ooh, ooh, ooh. You gotta go, you gotta go out, you gotta go out and steal some apples, 'cause who the hell wants lemons? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta hustle hard, you gotta muscle through, so you can make your shitty life better. When opportunity knocks, when possibility calls, take the bull by the horns, grab life by the balls. You gotta seize those balls, squeeze those balls, so you can make your shitty life better. Shitty little life better. You gotta make your life better. Whoa, come on, Kimmy. You gotta make your life. You gotta make it. You gotta make your shitty life better. Yeah,
Yeah! You're a rock star.
Emily Cook. And let's give it up for Fox 8's Natalie Herbeck. Thank you, Natalie. Oh my goodness.
Hello.
After that, I don't even know what to ask you.
Right?
Well, let's start with welcome back to Cleveland.
Thank you. Yes.
Emily was here when the national tour of Waitress launched right here at Playhouse Square in 2017.
And I love Cleveland. You guys are the best audiences ever, truly.
After that tour, Emily then went on to Broadway and performed in Waitress and Wicked, and most recently and right now, Kimberly Akimbo. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And I have to imagine that the character that you're playing on stage in New York and tonight is one of those dysfunctional family members.
She certainly is. And she may be in charge of the potential felony charge, if that wasn't obvious.
Kimberly Akimbo deals with some serious topics, yet it's quite funny. Some have called it the Ted Lasso of Broadway.
That's like the best description I've ever heard. It's so true, yes. With a little Arrested Development in there as well.
Right. Talk a little bit about how the elements of humor and heartfelt emotion are balanced throughout the show.
It's honestly, it's such a cliche answer to say this, but it really is exactly like life. Something happens that breaks your heart, and then something makes you laugh that puts your heart back together. And I think Kimberly does that extremely well. You're laughing, you're crying, and then there's so much snot coming down your face, you don't know what's coming from what. Like, it's that kind of show. And yeah, much like life.
Yeah. As was mentioned earlier, Kimberly Akimbo is the most celebrated show of the 2023 Tony Awards season. Best musical, best score, best book, the Triple Crown.
Yes, the Triple Crown.
How are audiences responding to the show? What are they saying at the stage door? I always love to know what they say.
That's such a good question, because it's such a unique show age-wise. You know, there's people who are in their 60s, there's people that are 18 in the show, you know, so it really covers the whole gamut, and that's been the most exciting part, like who relates to who at the stage door. It's the most diverse age-wise stage door I have ever seen. There are, you know, full kids, there are kids at heart. I think the most affecting thing is when people just come and hug us and start to cry. That has been really, really incredible to see. And I feel like the comment that we hear the most is, you know, somebody will come up and say, I'm 65, but I still feel 16. And to see that reflected back, that's been really, really cool.
Does anybody talk about the ice skating?
Everyone talks about the ice skating. There's ice skating. Come see the show.
There's a lot to think about and a lot to feel with this show. What do you hope audiences leave the theater thinking and maybe more importantly feeling after they've seen the show?
I hope they feel incredibly life affirmed. I hope they leave saying, you know what, there was something I always wanted to do that I haven't done, and I'm going to go do that, even if it is check fraud. But I hope that everybody, there's a song in our show called Great Adventure, and I hope that everybody leaves and goes on a great adventure, whether that's calling their parents for the first time in a while or going to Disney World. I hope they do whatever makes their heart happiest, because life is short. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah. It's beautifully put. It's a beautiful show. Thanks so much for being here. We hope that you join us on the great adventure when Kimberly Akimbo arrives at Playhouse Square in the summer of 2025. And with that, I will throw it back over to Craig Hassall.
Thank you, David. Well, there's our 7 shows, but the night is not over, folks. We have special guests and some more singing to come. So our next guest is a very important person. This is the KeyBank Broadway Series. So there's one company without whom we wouldn't be here, and guess who that is? KeyBank. They've been supporting us for a long time, and they're great supporters of Playhouse Square. Now, so our next guest is here. Well, she's my friend. That's not why she's here. We're also doing Leadership Cleveland together, so she's my classmate, but that's not why she's here. She is a very important person at KeyBank. Her title is really long. I can't remember what it is, but it's very important. So will you please welcome to the stage Kelly Lamarand. Kelly.
Hi, Craig.
Hi.
How are you?
What is your title?
I'm the market president and commercial sales leader for Northeast Ohio.
You see, it's Friday, right? Gosh.
I wish.
Oh, my goodness. So, KeyBank Broadway Series, it's obviously important to us. Why is it important to KeyBank?
It's important to KeyBank because one of our goals is to help communities thrive. And I can't tell you, I've been here for a number of shows, and I never walk out of here without feeling completely inspired by the talent that is brought to this great city. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, telling all of these season ticket holders that this is such a gem in our city, and we are so incredibly lucky to have it, and we're very, very grateful for all of the support that you give.
Wonderful. And you, I mean, we're all grateful to KeyBank as well. I know you support us very generously, but you do a lot more around Cleveland. So what else are KeyBank involved in around?
Well, I am a lifelong Clevelander, except for my 4 years at Miami of Ohio.
Oh, Miami! That's 2 shout-outs to Miami, Ohio. Give it up for Miami, Ohio.
Right. And there's nothing that this Clevelander loves more than painting this town red.
Yay!
But we have invested, since 2017, more than 1.7 billion, with a B.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, $1.7 billion.
Billion dollars.
Right, in Northeast Ohio.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Right. Through a lot of different avenues, a lot of different transformative philanthropy, small business lending, mortgage lending, and so this is our hometown, and we're incredibly proud to support it.
Amazing. Well, actually, so just by way of saying thank you for the $1.7 billion, Kelly, you get to say, roll it, Tony, which means we're going to roll the sizzle tape. Kelly?
Roll it, Tony.
Yay! Wow. So, well, actually, tickets are on sale like now, but don't run out of the theater. You have plenty of time. But you can renew online tonight. There'll be emails popping into your email accounts very soon. This has been a huge night. I have so many thank yous. Thank you to the whole Playhouse Square team. Give them a huge round of applause. And if you want to renew, you can do it online, playhousesquare.org, O-R-G. You probably know it by heart. I want to thank our Board of Trustees, all of our sponsors, donors, KeyBank, of course, for all their support. It's huge, huge, huge. But we have more fun for you. I quite like Neil Diamond. Do you like Neil Diamond? Yes. So shall we have back to the stage the amazing Chris Marsh-Clark. Chris, take it away.
This is a new one. If you know the lyrics, sing along. Where it began, there it is. I can't begin to know it. Who would? Growing strong. I thought you knew the lyrics. It was in the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Hands, let me see some hands. Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you, sweet Caroline. Good times never seem so good. I've been in look at the night, and it don't seem so lonely. We filled it up with only two. And when I hurt, hurting runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt when holding you? Warm, touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. Oh, no, no. How we doing, Cleveland? All right, we got one more chorus, and I want some people to come out and sing it with me. Come on. Let's do it. 1, 2. Sweet Caroline, ba, ba, ba. Good times never seem so good. So good, so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. Sweet Caroline.
Give it up for our own Neil Diamond, Chris Marsh Clark. Wonderful. Great. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night, and we'll see you at Playhouse Square for the KeyBank Broadway Series. Thank you. Good night.